We're heading to the northern end of Madagascar today. Rivers form sneaky patterns along the northeast coast. We have arrived in Antsiranana. Like many cities here, there's a European name, Diego Suarez, and a Malagasy one. We stopped for lunch at Les Milleville. The restaurant is right on the bay. We enjoy the beautiful views and watch the sailors. Of course, we have to have local seafood, great crab and shrimp. A little more sightseeing in Diego Suarez before we head south. This volcanic cone is a local landmark called Sugarloaf. From Antsiranana, we are driving to Ankarana Reserve. The road starts out okay, but soon becomes more potholes than pavement. We arrive after dark. We wake to find our bungalow surrounded by flowers. The morning's golden light is on the grassy hills. People are heading to work. After breakfast, it's off to Ankarana. It doesn't take long to find wildlife, especially with a sharp-eyed local guide. Most of the names are prefaced with Madagascar or Malagasy. 75% of the species here are found nowhere else. We're headed to the Tsingy, 2.4 kilometers. This dry stream bed is a raging torrent in the rainy season. This area gets an average of 79 inches of rain per year. These strange bugs excrete a white waxy substance that looks like feathers. When a bird grabs one, all it gets is a mouthful of wax. The entrance to the Tsingy. It's a strange, otherworldly landscape. The Tsingy is a rock formation of eroded limestone. The rock is 150 million years old. ZZ, our local guide, explains how eons of rainfall have dissolved the limestone. Where the outer layers have completely eroded, the hard base rock has been etched into razor-sharp ridges. The rock daggers ring like chimes when struck. The runoffs form narrow gorges where plants have established a foothold. Epiphytes have found homes in the trees. The rugged landscape has helped protect the region from human incursion. The light at midday is not good for photographing this monochromatic landscape. We'll be back here a little later. Now, let's go looking for some wildlife. We had seen this little nocturnal lemur on the way in. There are birds here too, just hard to photograph. This little lemur was very photogenic. Lemurs are just fun to watch and fun to photograph. In the rainy season, this is a double waterfall. Two streams meet here and then both disappear into the sinkhole. Back at the Tsingy, the afternoon's light adds definition to the rocks and lights up the plants. We're going to explore the Tsingy from another angle. It's not easy going. We're in the bottom, looking up. Baobab trees are a species that can thrive in these narrow canyons. And more geckos. The golden light is starting to fade. It's time to get back to our home for tonight. We watch the sunset and then head for dinner. This morning, we're back in Ankarana to visit the Bat Caves. Less than half a kilometer through the dry, deciduous forest, and then down a series of steps into a sinkhole. At the cave entrance, there's a natural formation that looks like a bat. The cave entrance is huge. Looking back from inside the cave gives perspective on the sinkhole we descended into. The water eroding the rocks above brings calcite to these caves, where it's deposited into fantastic forms. Some of the formations sparkle with gypsum crystals. These caves are sacred burial sites for the Ankarana people. And the bats, thousands of small fruit bats. As we leave the upper cave, we notice an underground river flowing from the lower cave. We leave Ankarana and retrace our path almost back to Antsiranana, but turn left to Joffreyville. Our home for tonight is the Nature Lodge. We're here in time for lunch. Then we're off to visit Amber Mountain National Park. We are welcomed by an endangered bird that only lives here on this mountain. Amber Mountain's attractions are its waterfalls and the lush vegetation in its rainforest ecosystem. We're walking to Sacred Falls. At the falls, we practice our technique for silky waterfall pictures. But the little things along the way are interesting too. ZZ found this tiny chameleon for us to photograph. It's full grown. We interrupted this small hawk's lunch, but he posed for us anyway. And more chameleons. Back to the Nature Lodge for a beautiful sunset and a very nice dinner. In the morning, we pack up and check out of the Nature Lodge. On the way back to Antsiranana, ZZ finds chameleons and kids. We're back in the city for a change of pace. We're visiting the market. Cashews are a cash crop here. Don't know what this is, but it looks good. You have to watch out for rickshaws moving goods around the market. Rice is a staple here too. Bananas are 5,000 ari per kilo. That's about $1 a pound. Shrimp looks good. Can't say the same for the zebu. Zebu, that's beef here. Many women wear this face cream. It's supposed to smooth, moisturize, and lighten the skin. This might be the ingredients for that face cream. The fish look freshly caught. We ask. Yes, they eat bats here. The vegetables look especially good, and they're already shredded for a popular salad. ZZ found some friends and wanted their picture taken. One good thing the French did here was to leave their bread recipe. The Malagasy love their hot sauce. That was fun. Now a couple more stops to round out our city tour. First, a popular spot overlooking the harbor where people can watch ships unload. Marshal Joffrey's monument is located so that he can watch the ships too. It's a popular place to get your picture taken. The next stop is the War Cemetery. It's the final rest for Allied soldiers killed in the Battle of Madagascar in 1942. The cemetery contains 314 British Commonwealth burials from Africa, and from the United Kingdom. One from the Belgian Congo, and one unknown. We leave the cemetery to these puppies and head back to town for a little shopping. The Malagasy like their fabrics bright and bold. Maria Rosa tries on the latest fashion. Then it's time for lunch at the Northern Paradise Hotel. Then back to the airport for our flight back to Antananarivo. We say goodbye to Antsiranana and its beautiful bay. Salt pans make an interesting sight as we fly along the northeast coast. We make a stop at Nosy Be, an island off the northeast coast that's popular with European tourists. Then before you know it, we're on the ground at Antananarivo. We collect our bags and head back to the Hotel Colbert.